Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Peter and today I want to talk about what is authority and where did it come from. What is authority and where did it come from? First I want to give you a proper greeting, so we say Bangat Samhita, Om Shanti, peace to you, peace to me. So what is authority and where did it come from? So if you think about the laws of this land, why was Alfred the Great called Alfred the Great? Because he wanted every single human being in his kingdom to really recognize and even understand the laws of the land, which really came from natural law, which way you should say understand, because nature, we are part of nature and we should be standing under nature, not trying to lord over nature, which is one of the major problems in today's world. So understand the laws of the land, the natural laws, which really was the beginnings or the essence of common law. Common law because it's common sense. Today's world, common sense, straight out the window. How many people are saying that now? Where's the common sense gone? Where's it all gone? It's gone, it's disappeared, it's not there anymore. It's crazy. We live in a non-common sense world, excuse me. And that really came from natural law. When you look at the laws of nature and how it all works and everything moves in cycles, we're part of those cycles, we're very influenced by those cycles, and we should learn to respect those cycles. If you look at the farmers who work with the astrology when they grow their crops or grow their grapes or grow whatever they grow, and when they work with the astrology of how it's working, so when the moon is waning or waxing, they'll plant food at certain times, they'll bury certain manures into the land so that it manifests, and they'll make it into their fertilizer and put it on the land. Amazing crops that come out of those farms that are really working with the energies of nature. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. So the energy is coming down from these astrological cycles is really helping with their farming. I do it to a certain extent. We also use a triangle with a sacred geometry shape underneath the copper triangle, and when we put seeds in that, the plants are twice as big. And when we plant, when the moon is waxing, just as the start of the waxing period, the plants are twice as big. Done it at home, I've experienced it. Natural law, this is really important to get. So we've gone from natural law and common law. This used to be a common law country. I would say no way is it anywhere near a common law country anymore, because nobody should have the right to hurt or harm you. There should be there used to be laws against people hurting or harming you. Now the pharmaceutical companies are not responsible for their actions. It's the people who have to pay now, not the companies. So we move from common law, natural law, common law to corporate law. And if you go to the Magna Carta Memorial building structure, you read on the plate, the plinths. I put it on the one of my blogs on WordPress. You read the plinths. It says the American Bar Association adheres to the Great Charter. It means it abides by it, sticks to. 1980, 1990, another plinth. The American Bar Association adheres to the Great Charter. 2000, the Millennium Bug, actually it was the destruction of common law in the West. 2000, the American Bar Association recognizes, very, very different word to adheres to, recognizes. So recognizes common law, it doesn't mean you're going to stick to it. So therefore you've got actual class actions happening at the moment about this lockdown, and of course when they become successful, and I believe they will, it's the people who will have to pay for the damages, not the pharmaceutical industry that may be contriving to make this worse than it actually is, and not the government or the people in the government that are contriving to make this worse than it actually is. It's actually the people who have to pay. So why have our governments become authorities rather than organisers? They said they get experts in to help them govern. So these people become experts, so therefore they become the authority. So an expert is just somebody who knows a little bit more than somebody else in a room at that time. And they cherry pick the experts that they use for the ones who are part of the meme or the way that they want it to go. So you might have dissenting voices over here, and they'll be ignored because they don't go along with the agenda that's being laid out or rolled out. They don't really agree with it, so therefore those dissenting voices, no matter how many there are, they just get ignored. And this lot over here, because they're agreeing with the rollout of the agenda, well, they get nicely paid. I had a friend of mine, not really a friend, he's got like a cyber friend, Professor Ollie Johansson, who was really big on highlighting the problems with EMFs, and now he's lost his job and he was demonised completely as a professor, even though he was bringing up this information where the experiments and the scientific research was showing that EMFs are detrimental to human health. But no, he gets pushed to the side, and you get these other people, Mike Repachenek, who was the head of INCIDENTAL, used to work for the telecommunication industry, who was the safety expert for EMFs in human society, ex-telecommunication industry. When you get that high up level on a company, you never lose your contacts and you're always looking to help them. So you say there's no conspiracy going on there? Enormous. Still going on today. Unbelievable. So that's our experts in our society, and they are our authority. So the word civil servant is supposed to be a servant to you, serving your communities, serving your needs. Not anymore. They're telling you, you've got to put your bin out this day, you've got to do this, you've got to pay this much more money this year because we haven't got any money, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, blah, 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 blah. They're becoming authority, overbearing diktats that they keep throwing at you. They have become the authority because we've allowed it to happen. We've allowed this all to happen. With our acquiescence, it's all been rolled out onto us and we've allowed it to happen. And I personally want to go back to a more simpler way of life. You do not hurt or harm anybody or anybody else's property. Common law, very basics of common law, which raises us up above the animal kingdom because we do have the ability to connect with that higher energy, so therefore we don't harm anything. So these billions of animals that get murdered every day, what's that all about? For what? Protein? You get your protein you get all your amino acids from goji berries. And if you know anything about protein, you know that goji berries or amino acids are the building blocks of protein. It's a fallacy, it's a myth that you get your protein from meat. And there are certain things that you do get from meat, but because of the way that we can have our diet today, you can have such a varied diet even as a vegan today and still get everything that you need. I've been vegan for about 7 years now, vegetarian about 25, not lacking anything, quite old, and I'm still glowing in the face, still feeling healthy, strong. It's all a fallacy. That's what we've been told that we live in. So these people have become our authority. No, the authority with our diet, the way that we live, the way that we're governed. They're the authority, they're our chiefs, and they're being dictatorial with it as well now, with the lockdown and everything like that, which Sweden they didn't do that with Sweden, and the figures are coming out now that they didn't have too big a problem with the virus. Incredible. So we have allowed this to happen. We are allowing this to wash over us, and more and more people are actually starting to realise that this is wrong. This should not happen. So it's waking up, opening up your eyes, looking at what's really going on, ignoring the people on the mainstream media who are just repeating the narrative, repeating the narrative, repeating the narrative. And the more they repeat the narrative at you, the more it breaks you down, the more you start to believe it. And when you believe something, there's a little lie in the middle. Write it out. The little lie in the middle. So you're believing a lie from somebody who, because they've got an agenda, breaking you down. So if you get involved now with communities and local events, you You can start to talk to people about this. Say, well, this is not right, and they will agree with you. But they've got no control over it. It's a rollout. It's rolling out, and it's getting worse and worse and worse as we allow it to get worse. One of the greatest examples of that is the European Union. Different subject. Go on about it for hours, and I won't do that. So I don't want to bore you with all the facts. But think about it. Think about who your authority is. You. Do not hurt or harm anybody or anybody else's property. Covers everything. Honestly, really does. Anyway, have a think about it. Food for thought, and thank you for watching. I really appreciate that. If you want to raise your vibration, try the free Qigong classes on this channel, and I'll see you in the next video with a big smile on your face. So,